All right, recording in progress. Here we go. Okay, so welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you being here. We are going to talk a little bit today about the Agent Basics program, and we'll just get going. Does anyone have any questions before we start? No? Okay. Well, I have two things to say. First of all, if you do have questions, always just, I'm watching the chat, but feel free to unmute. Like these sessions will be so much better, like all of them, if you're interacting, asking questions, because there's a 99% chance possibility that if you have this question, someone else on the call also has it. So don't be shy. Like I'm always grateful for the people that engage and participate because they're asking the questions that everyone has. And then my second thing is if it's possible, if you can show your video, I would love that because it's really, really hard to present and interact to blank screens. And sometimes you can't because you're driving or whatever, and I get it. But it's better for all of us if we can see each other and engage, and it feels a little bit more like we're a community. And that's hopefully one of the goals of what we're doing here is you guys getting to know yourself a little bit better. I mean, yourself and each other a little bit better so you can form a little kind of pod of peers. So here we go. So first of all, I'm sure you're wondering like what is the Agent Basics and why are we doing this? And basically, we started a new agent program about 5 years ago in Fort Worth. Laura Span and I did this because we had some, exceptional new agents that we thought would be really promising, but we knew they needed to be training before they could become like the caliber of a Briggs Freeman agent, right? We didn't typically take new agents. And also because we realized that there are some agents here that hadn't done a ton of deals or had been away from the business and were stepping back into it and just needed like a refresher on what are the rules now, how do I do a deal, and what are my best practices to be a really, really good agent here at Briggs Freeman. So over time, the curriculum has kind of expanded and evolved, and we started doing a few years ago when I was at Lovers Lane, we started doing like, we called it a new agent check-in. And we would have a group of agents and we all just came and met in the conference room, and it was awesome because we had questions. They would just say, hey, I'm really struggling pricing this property, and we'd all do it together. And it was a good little group. So I'm hoping here we can form like a good group and you guys will meet people in your offices or not that are good peers for you to bouncing off of. I had 3 separate conversations with realtors this week where they independently said to me unsolicited that like real estate is a lonely business. Because you're doing so much on your own and there's so much expected of you and you have so many different hats you're supposed to wear. So I just want to make sure you guys have a community of people that you can reach out to, and we start seeing these faces all the time and we're used to it. A lot of you guys started during COVID, which is another reason why we wanted to make this program a little bit more formal, just to get you guys kind of really pulled into the mix and get you going. So what we're going to do here basically is everyone's been to real estate school. Lots of you guys have done deals. We're just going to review the basics of what you really need to know about real estate legally and strategically. And then also what are the best practices that we do here at Briggs Freeman to make you guys like the next level of agent, right? Not just an everyday agent, but like really, really good, valuable real estate advisors. So, Briggs Freeman is not a place for kind of part-time agents or agents who dabble in real estate. Like this is a place for full-time real estate professionals. And so that's what we're trying to offer to this training to get you guys jump-started to that level, like ASAP. And I promise you, all of you guys have so much potential and are already doing great. Some of you have been around for a while. If you follow what we're doing, we know that it will work, right? Just like Briggs Freeman has the best tools, and an elite level agent who joins us and takes advantage of those tools is unstoppable, right? Same thing for you guys. Like this is a really, really good program, and it's kind of stood the test of time. Just because we're calling it something different now doesn't mean we haven't been doing it for a while. And we know what works, and we can see the new agents that have started here that are like phenomenal successes right now and what they do. So we're going to share that with you guys and hopefully help, those of you that are willing to dive in and do the work, like get as far as you want to go, which is awesome. I hope you're excited, and that this should be like fun and interesting and not like a beat down like real estate champions classes. Okay. This should be helpful and good. And if it's not, let us know because we'll fix it. But the point of it is to help you guys really kind of dig in. So there's lots of different components in real estate. So we're going to try to teach you all of them. So does anyone have any questions before we get going? Okay, cool. So I wanted to share with you, before we even started, some success stories of agents who have kind of passed through our training program that started here with little experience or no experience, and kind of show you where they got. And we have agents from every offices that have been really successful. But there's agents, and I say this when I'm sitting we get a lot of new agents that reach out to us and want to join us, and we're pretty selective about the ones that we bring onto the team, right? But because we want to make sure that we're setting people up for success, and we also want to make sure that we're maintaining the integrity of the quality of agent that we have here, right? But the agents that come here and work and really hustle and take advantage of all the tools and resources, you can see they do phenomenal. And I'm not going to read these to you, but they're awesome. We have a North agent that came in here, got busy, was at the training classes, and in her first full year sold 5 million during COVID, which is awesome. We have a Lakewood agent that sold 8 million and is almost at 13 in their second year. Now, this is not like our expectation, and these are not like typical results, but it's certainly possible for those of you that want to dive in and hustle. So, and these are all examples from like the past 2 years. I did not go like way back to find these over the history of like along of us doing this program. So there's opportunity here if you take advantage of it and work it. And I just wanted to show that to you guys. So one thing as we say this is that I know all of the agents that had these successes, like were very specific about the level of success that they wanted to have, right? They didn't just trip over this business and like get lucky. So I encourage you to make sure that you know what your goals are, right? And it may not be like that you need to sell $10 million of real estate. You may say, I need to sell this much real estate because my purpose in our family is to bring this much income, and that's great. Just know what your specific goals are so that we can be planning towards them, right? Questions? Okay, cool. We're going to move on. I just wanted to show you guys that. So I want to talk a little bit about like what our expectations are for the program, and then we're going to talk about kind of what we're going to be doing and really how to get you guys like set off on the right path. Okay. So these are the basic expectations. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be meeting pretty much every Friday morning at this time through the end of the year. And we're going to be offering you guys the training classes, like the core curriculum that we think you really need to know to be well-versed kind of in every aspect of real estate, which is a lot of hats, right? Like it's a marketing hat, it's a legal hat, it's a contracts hat, it's so many things. It's taking care of clients. It's how to present and do a listing presentation. So many different pieces of what you need to know. So we're going to break it down and do it bit by bit. It's going to be Friday mornings at 9. And we really want you to come to all of these. In fact, we're going to have like a checklist for you to kind of fill out and make sure that you're passing through all of these classes, right? And some of them you may have already gone through because none of the classes are new. It's just organized to make sure you go through all of them. So some of you that have been here for a while, you can kind of say, I already took what you should know about financing. I already took the 1 to 4 class, but just want to make sure that you've covered all of these basics. And so attending these meetings, which are going to be on Fridays, but really it's also going to be classes on Fridays, which is the Agent Basics curriculum. And then, coming to the Monday morning meetings, if you guys are newer to the business or aren't super busy yet, there's no reason that you shouldn't be taking advantage of like every resource that Briggs Freeman has to offer you. And it's a lot, but there's so much good stuff here for you to learn. Like, let us spoon feed it to you, right? And the way to do that is come to the Monday morning meetings and watch and learn and soak it in and ask questions, right? If your office has office meetings, go to them, right? Like that's the best way to meet other agents. It's the best way to get connected to your manager, know what's going on. Work on your written database, make sure that you have one, whether it's an Excel spreadsheet or your Rolodex or you're putting it all into the BF Engage CRM, like make sure that you have a written database because that's how we live and die. And as a new agent, you kind of slowly might be building that, and that's okay. I talked to a newer agent the other day who's like, my whole database right now is people that I've met at open houses. And I'm like, that's fantastic because you know exactly what those people are looking for, right? So work on that. Learning the Briggs Freeman tools. Again, there's a lot of them and they can be overwhelming, but I encourage you to try everything and see what you think is going to work in your business. Okay. Russ always compares the Briggs Freeman resources to like a salad bar, in that there's so many different options, and there's probably no one out there that's taking one piece of everything from the salad bar, but you've got to know what's available to you and pick and choose which ones seem to work in your business, and be aware so that if you business grows and you move in a direction, you're like, man, I could really use that tool right now, right? So I encourage you to kind of lean in and learn all of our tools. Host at least one open house a month. That may be the quickest way to get busy, because you're actually meeting people that way, right? Get to know your Briggs Freeman team members. That's an awesome resource for you. One of the greatest things about Briggs Freeman, I would say, is like the collaborative nature of our agents, and how it seems like people really do want to help you. If you're at the office, like, people are going to be nice and friendly and helpful for the most part, I would say. So take advantage of that and kind of come up to the office, get to know your agents. And then learn the market. This is another super important one. Like, when you're new and you don't have a track record of deals, or you're, less experienced in the business, you can't like point to a ton of deals. But what you can do is be really knowledgeable. And if you know what you're talking about, then people are going to believe you, right? You don't necessarily have to have a ton of feathers in your cap. If you're really smart and you know what you're talking about, and you're listening to your people and paying attention to what they're looking for, and then you're aware of what's out there that might be a good fit for them. So learning the market, there's a few different things to do that. We learned hot sheets a few weeks ago from Moji, right? Previewing homes is important. So be sure to tour. If there's a tour in your marketplace, like, go tour it, so that in 3 months when you get a deal, and that's a comp because it's sold, you'll know about that house and you'll just know the market better. And also, when you're running into people, you'll sound more educated if you are educated about the market, right? So, and then one more piece of that about going to office tours, and when a Briggs Freeman agent has an event, going to it, like, A, you're supporting your team, right? And B, you're getting to know them a little bit and showing to them, like, I'm a professional agent, so if you ever need help, I would be a good resource, right? Because a great way to get business when you're getting started or wanting to grow your business is to basically work for the existing agents in your office and help them, and they'll give you more and more business. We had an agent on here a few weeks ago, and she's done, I think, 8 or 9 deals in her first year. And we asked her where she came from, because that's awesome. And she said most of them are referrals from other agents in our office, because she shows up and she's professional and she does a good job when they ask her to help. So they keep coming back to her. So she's done quite an awesome business this year just by using other Briggs Freeman agents as her clients. So definitely something to think about. So have a written goals and a plan. If you're on a team, you may not have your own business plan. You may be part of a larger plan, which is totally fine. But just, we're not going to know where we're going. We can't get to where we're going if we don't know what that is. So make sure that you have kind of a written plan, and your managers and I will work with you on that. So if you ever have questions about any of this stuff, like, I'm your resource. Your manager is an awesome resource. You have great agent services managers. So lots of people here to help you, which I hope is one of the big takeaways from today. Read the Ninja Selling Book if you haven't already. It's a great place to start because it has great systems and processes for you to kind of absorb before you get into bad habits or get too busy as an agent, to get these good habits into your routine. I promise you, if you follow the Ninja process, it's going to work for you, and you'll appear super professional. It'll help you generate business. And it'll help you keep balance. So highly recommend that you read the book. And then as soon as you're at a point in your business where you have the time and can afford to attend an installation, absolutely do it. Because it's really awesome way of doing real estate business.
Is there any?
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question on that?
Please.
So I do have the Ninja book. Sheepishly, I will say that I've gotten about 4 pages into it and I haven't picked it back up. But and I am planning on attending an installation in October. So and again, this is almost a little bit embarrassing question to ask, but
there are no embarrassing questions.
I come from a previous career that was a very structured, procedural day. And so one of the things that I'm finding that I'm struggling with right now, especially in juggling several different clients at the same time, is just organization of my day. Now, is that something on top of Ninja that we have available for a new agent such as myself to be able to kind of help us structure our day. And so I'm not just trying to rely off of memory or making sure that I'm putting those reminders into my calendar. Is there any way that we might be able to kind of help me manage a day or time better?
Yes. So I have a time blocking class, and I can, it might be in the Success Center, but I can show it to you, and I can show you what like a sample agent's week might look like. What Ninja says is work on your business in the morning and in your business in the afternoon. So in the morning, wake up, win the day, organize yourself, get your, you know, important but not urgent things done and knocked out. So then you have time in the afternoon to take appointments and meet clients and inspections and things like that. So Brian, are you asking about what it should look like, or what's the right tool to help you stay organized?
You know, I think it's honestly a smattering of both. So, I mean, admittedly, self-organization is not necessarily one of my strong points. And I mean, I would never tell a client that, but it's just one of those things. I would hate to miss something with a client because I don't have it structured into my day and I'm just forgetting to get in contact with them. So if there's something along the lines of both sides, somebody like myself would find that extremely helpful.
Yeah. Okay. So my recommendation is going to be to lean into Outlook, right? Because that's the email platform that we use. And it also syncs with ReChat or BF Engage. So when you get into BF Engage, like it'll remind you what you have coming up today. And you know, Outlook does that as well, your daily briefing or whatever. So I would just be really, really mindful about having the self-discipline to become a psychopath about putting things into your calendar, because you do forget, right? And that's the first step to time blocking also, right? If you want to do like weekly calls to your buyers or to your sellers, block it out and say Fridays from 9:30, no, not Fridays, because Fridays are for me and us, right? You know, Fridays from 11 to 12, I'm going to do all of my client calls, and just put it in your calendar and make an appointment, right? So that's the first step to time blocking. But yes, I think it's really easy in this business. It's kind of like when you don't have that much to do, it's harder to get everything done. So I would just give yourself a schedule and a plan, like you're planning with a client, like you have a meeting, right? You have a meeting to do your notes, and you have a meeting to do, just block things out. Does that make sense? And Brian, we can get
100%.
Okay, we can get more into that, but it's a good question. I think being organized in this business is like really hard because
It's key.
so much of it is getting thrown at you all the time. So having a system in place and knowing, like, I put everything into Outlook right away, or I keep my piece of paper next to me that I write everything down, and at the end of the day I go back and put everything into Outlook, like whatever it is. I don't know how many of you guys have ever asked to have a meeting with me, but the moment we schedule it, you get a calendar invite for me, because if it's not on my calendar, like, it does not exist in my life. So you guys probably have all experienced that, but just get used to being disciplined about writing things down to keep track of them, and putting them into your calendar is my pro rabbit hole tip of the day. So
I have a comment, I guess. I was talking to someone, Terry Thomas, about this exact issue, because Brian, everything you said, I totally agree with and feel on a spiritual level about self-organization. And like, then when clients, or as things are coming in and you're learning what your business is even all about, like, what is the process of collecting that info, writing it down, and then putting it in Outlook later. Terry was like, the Ninja Planner is the best thing I've ever had. But so can we just, is that available to just buy online separate from like the Ninja book?
I think it is. I do think that you can buy the Ninja Planner, because obviously every year, like, there's ninjas that need a planner that don't go through another installation. So I do think you can do that through Ninja Selling.
Okay.
That's a great suggestion. I also, would it help you guys if I sent out like the
sample calendar thing?
Sample week?
Helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, that would help. That would help a lot. And I've actually been using the Ninja calendar. And Brian, that's the only thing that's helped me. I go out when I'm on the phone with somebody and I say, I'm going to call you again in 2 or 3 weeks. I go out those 3 weeks in the paper calendar and just put their name on the list for that week. And then I'm finding that that's helping me reach back out. I tried putting it in BF Engage as a flow, because that's another place you can do it. But then I don't know, I wasn't getting the notifications somehow, or was ignoring them possibly, not sure, but it didn't work for me very well there. So I'm finding that paper notebook and just keeping that open to the week is helping me remember, like, oh, I talked to this person a month ago, now I've got to reach back out. And so that seems to be helping me more than anything. And it's super easy to just write their name down and then go back. And then I put my notes of the conversations in BF Engage, but I'm not doing the flow bit in there because I found that just writing their name down 3 weeks out was easier for me and very quick.
That's super helpful. Thank you very much. And I'm married to a ninja. So she has all this information as well. So Jackie, what I can do is I'll talk to Jennifer on that too, to see if it is something she would be aware if that is available just to order on it. So
cool.
she's on the call too. So
I ordered mine. So yes, it is available online on the Ninja Cell.
I need to do that.
Yeah,
I sent the link just now to the chat. It goes directly to the planner if anybody wants to go get it.
Awesome.
You guys are making me so happy. I love it. This is good. Brian, thank you for asking that question. And I can send out like a sample week just to kind of show. And I love if the Ninja Planner works, that's awesome. That's how I use Outlook, is that I call it a trail of breadcrumbs. Like I go and I like leave myself a little task like in the future, right? That's my trail of breadcrumbs to remind myself, like Barbara said, in 3 weeks, I need to call this person back. So that's a great tip. And hopefully we'll be sharing more of these along the way. So that's a good one that just came up. Thanks guys for sharing. Okay, so the last one is, I don't want to skip over it, learn and adopt the Briggs-Freeman way. And how many of you guys have even heard of this? Okay, handful of you, good. So the Briggs-Freeman way is something that we came up with after Ninja, where we kind of knew what we were always about, but we were like, let's actually document it and let's put it in the affirmative so that agents can understand what is the Briggs-Freeman way. And this is it. And these are the things that we know that are super professional, super elite level agents. They do all of these things, right? They're not doing all of these things every day or every week, but they know what they need to do to be the best. And this is what it looks like. So I'm not going to read it out loud to you, but I will email this to you guys to share. It's about integrity. It's about being an expert. It's about having a plan and having a database, right? All the things we talked about. It's about being professional and presenting professional to everyone, right? Not just your clients, to each other, to the agents on the other side of the deal, to the title companies, to the staff, to everyone, right? It's about using some type of CRM. It's about taking advantage of our resources and assets, touring, going to sales meetings, those kinds of things, studying the Sotheby's brand, right? That's a big piece. It's a big, big differentiator. And also when you're newer to the business, having the Sotheby's and Briggs-Freeman brands behind you is a huge validator, right? So you need to know what that means. And we have classes about it. Jeff Hill, our Sotheby's rep, did a class yesterday. He's going to do another one in October. So you can kind of understand the basics. And then it's about staying involved in your community, being positive, being collaborative, right? And these are all affirmations because we strongly believe in that and know the power of that. So I'm going to share this with you guys, but I just wanted to introduce you. This is how we present ourselves and how we operate. And these are the kind of like team members we're looking to be, right? Does anyone have any questions about this? No? Okay. So here is a non-exhaustive list of kind of resources and tools that we have for you, right? I don't ever want you, I know a few weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago, we did a session because everyone was like, I don't know what to do to get more business, right? And so let's talk about all of the things that we can do to be getting ourselves busy. And here are some of the resources and tools for you. And the most important thing you can do is communicate back to us what you need so that we can help you with it. We can't do it for you, but we can at least point you in the right direction and help you with whatever it is that you are looking for. So this is just kind of a snapshot of this. And one of these you'll see I have on there. Has everyone knows their sales manager, right? Everyone knows who their agent service manager is, which is their kind of marketing go-to guru. then, one important one here is peers. And I think you guys just proved that in that conversation that you had about planning. Like you're such good resources for each other, and no one needs to reinvent the wheel in real estate, right? So let's share as much as we can and be collaborative. And then these are the tools you need to be learning about. Has everyone been to the Success Center and BF office? Because there's a lot of recorded classes there. So I encourage you to, if there's ever a topic that you want covered and it's the middle of the night, go into the Success Center and see if it's covered there, because it probably is. It may be an older recording, but at least it's recorded. That's why we're redoing all of these classes live, so that you can have the opportunity to attend and ask questions. But in a pinch, you can always watch the recording. So there's a lot in there. So I just wanted to show that to you guys. Does anyone have any questions about how any of this stuff works? Is anyone getting stuck anywhere with a specific tool? I know we're trying to get more BF Engage trainings back on the calendar. I encourage you to lean into it and learn how to use that as much as possible, because it's gonna help you. Okay, so I am gonna read this to you guys now, but not in a boring way, hopefully. So I asked all of those agents that I referenced in like the production levels, I reached out to them and said, hey guys, can you share with me, like, what would you say, since you were very successful here very quickly as a newer agent, what's your best tip for getting ahead? And this is what they said. One of them said, like, beg older agents to let you help with absolutely anything, real estate or not. She says they will give you business if they know that you work hard and do a good job. And I think that that's true. I think communication is the key. Presenting professionally is the key. But there's so much opportunity here, and there's so many busy agents that need good, valuable help. There's tons of opportunity. You just have to know that it's here and be willing to kind of show up and do a really good job. And you'll get repeat customers like that agent I was mentioning. Okay, so then the next one is have your elevator pitch of why and how whatever your previous career was helped you prepare for your new career. Showing the skill set crossover and proving that you already have years of valuable prior experience versus just being new at something will help legitimize your new experience. And I loved that piece of advice, and I never would have thought of it, but it's true. So think about whatever you were doing before and how it can relate to what you're doing now. And if you aren't sure, then let's have a conversation about it and figure out what that spin can be for you. But I think that I think will also be helpful for your own mindset to be like, oh, I'm not starting over at something new. This is just a transition, and these are all the skills I'm bringing over with me, right? I loved that one. So this is another one. Figure out an authentic way to continually reach out to your sphere, whether it's newsletters, front porch drop-offs, email blasts, etc. And this agent was younger. She says, your sphere may not view you yet as a real estate agent, and they may not be ready to buy or sell right away. And that's fine. She says, continue to stay in front of them in whatever way feels authentic to you as you build a reputation as an experienced agent. When they are ready to buy or sell, you will be top of mind because you've already laid the groundwork and are consistently staying in front of them. So I think that's awesome. I talked to someone the other day and they were like, no one in my sphere is buying houses right now. And I was like, that's such a defeatist attitude, right? Because and maybe it's true, no one is, but then there's other things you can be doing to keep yourself busy, and you still need to be staying in front of your sphere, right? Everyone's got to move at some point. So I thought that was, good advice. Okay, and then the last one, and this one I think is super, super important because it will help you feel more like an expert. It will actually make you more of an expert. And this, know the inventory on the market. That means attending office tour in MLS areas and tours that you want to know, in tours in areas you want to farm or help friends buy into. This particular agent lives in one area and has a lot of friends that do, but she knows that they're outgrowing it and they're moving to another. So she made it her job to know everything about other places where people might go to from where they are now. And then she was really, really valuable to her sphere because she knew so much about what their options might be. And she was also sending them things. She was aware of things that they didn't even know that they needed, if that makes sense. So what she says was, it's always nice to have a couple of properties to chat about with them, even when they're not formally looking. So she's just, without being like, I sell real estate, can I have a referral? She was letting them know, like, man, this new neighborhood is really busy and the schools are so, she was positioning herself as an expert. She says they know you're keeping an eye on the market in the area that they want to move to. And this starts setting the bar to show you as an educated agent who can help them. And I love that. I think that that was really, really good advice. And I'm very grateful to them for taking the time to kind of email me back and share. And then this was the other question that I asked them. What do you know now that you wish you knew then? Right? So one of them said, don't ease up the gas once you start to sell a little bit. You have to keep a decent balance with work and life. But in this industry, it's all about one thing, showing up and doing the work consistently. The second you let up the gas, it shows, right? So once you start you're doing all these things as a new agent, once you start getting busy, don't stop doing them. You just have to start figuring out how to manage your time a little bit better and doing more. So then this one, the next agent said, take as many training classes as you can without CE training. Because in your first 2 years, and not all of you are in your first 2 years, but for those of you you have to fill an SAE requirement, and it's massive. So you're not gonna be able to do it by filling like random 1 hour CEs. Those actually don't even count. So you can do it for your own education, but she says, don't bother doing it for credit. Although you could still pay the $10 and it'll show up that you've taken that class if you want to appear as an expert. No one's really looking at your CE attendance history. But our recommendation for finishing that SAE training is to do the GRI. It's called the Graduate Realtor Institute. And you don't have to. There's tons of ways to get to that. I think it's 180 hours. I would recommend you do the GRA because it's an accreditation that you get to keep always. And also, it's just a fact that most agents that have their GRI like way outperform agents that don't. So it's a good class and a good accreditation to have. So that's our recommendation. You can do whatever you want. It's expensive and it's time consuming, but they kind of all are. So that I'm in a sidebar there. So she says Republican Allegiance Title offer great classes. And she says there's lots to learn as you go. And it's hard to ask other agents who might not be keeping up with the changes. So be your own expert in info, not just on transactions, right? So I thought that was really, really good. This one I love because it's go to the office, have at least 2 days a week to be there and interact with agents. And I know the offices may not all be super, super busy right now, but just the act of like getting up and getting dressed and going to the office and like being a professional will create activity for you. And you are going to run into people here and have conversations and see your manager, and it will help to come to the office and act like a professional and be professional every day and meet other people and overhear them doing business. And I loved that one. So do phone time. It helps to give you admin time when not making calls. And I mean, our phones ring with good calls. It's not going to ring every time, but you do get good opportunities. Stacy had a good one the other day, right, Stacy? Doesn't always turn into something, but you get really good ones. And you have to know how to do it. And as a sidebar there, in our Success Center, this is not on our curriculum list, but if you're going to do phone duty or do an open house, we have 2 training classes recorded in the Success Center that you should watch before you do them. And we have 1 class on phone duty and 2 classes on open houses. And you need to watch those before you take a phone duty shift or do an open house, because it'll prep you so you can do like a Briggs Freeman quality job. Okay, so then the next one, work open houses. This was hard truth, but I appreciated that they said this. Your weekends are no longer free time. If you are a full-time agent, the busiest time is Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Plan on it now and dive in, which is kind of true, right? Fridays are busy because everyone's prepping for the weekend. And that's kind of how it goes. And then the last one is be patient and just keep getting in front of your sphere. It may start slow, but you will gain in traction and it will pay off. Don't be nervous to market your successes, leases, CMAs, any transactions you are working on, post them. Let people know you are working and busy. Fake it till you make it. Your overall reputation will help bridge the gap while you're still trying to move from green agent to experienced agent. People just want to work with someone they know, like, and trust. That's a ninja thing, and will do a great job for them. Don't necessarily care, nor will they ask about the number of sold on your resume. So if you're presenting yourself super professionally and showing that you know what you're doing, like, they're not going to be like, how many deals have you done? So, and if they do, you can say, oh, at my company, we did this many, right? Just make you're part of a much, much larger team than just you, which is true. So just know that information. So is this helpful? I thought this was kind of good to see what they had to say since they've all been there. Okay. So this is like my personal guru of real estate. This is a must listen. And I showed you here, this is a podcast. This is the executive vice president, city managing broker for Jameson Sotheby's International Realty in Chicago. And he's a professional coach for like elite level agents only. But he's awesome. And every morning he does a Monday morning pep talk. And he does it for his team, and they all hop on the call. Like, I mean, his team, meaning the agents who he coaches and his Jameson crew, but he puts it onto Apple like podcasts, and I listen to them all the time. And he's so awesome, guys. He's been in real estate for a long time himself as an agent and a broker. And he always says in 2008, when the market crashed, he had a real estate heart attack because he was working for a builder, and he said he saw $1.5 million of commissions like go up in smoke because the market went like this. And he's like, I was very transaction based, just working with this builder. And he's like, I totally had to flip my business. And he's like really thoughtful and really articulate. And this particular episode, it's from this Monday, ironically. It's what they don't teach you in real estate school. And this is good. Like every agent at every level should listen to his podcast all the time, but especially you guys should listen to this one. They're never very long. 25 minutes is actually pretty long for him, but highly recommend. It's so good. And I listen to his all the time. He has a whole program and a take flight program, but even just to hop in and listen to random things. He's the coach that introduced me to 12-week year. And, you know, we all kind of read the same books, and Atomic Habits and Ninja, and, you know, just really awesome guy. So I would recommend adding this to your podcast listening, or if you're not a regular podcast listen to, at least listen to this one, because he's very motivating, but he really knows what he's talking about. Any question? His website is askjimmiller.com. I love him. I wrote him a note yesterday just to thank him for like giving me good energy and information always. Okay, so any questions before we go over our next steps? This is not my like preferred way of doing this because I'm talking a lot here, but in our next sessions, we'll have like a class, and you guys will also hopefully be chiming in more and asking questions. So, okay, so what we're gonna do next steps is we're gonna try to do a one-on-one meeting with all of you guys just to check in about where you're going. And it's gonna be like me and your manager, and it's nothing huge, and it'll be like 15 minutes or less. We just wanna check in and see, is there anything that you need? Like, how's it going? Kind of talk about where do you feel like you are in your business? Like, what can we do to help you, right? We really are trying to re-energize, like, and pull you guys into the mix since it's post-COVID and we can kind of all be together again, is really through the end of the year, focus on making sure you guys have what you need to thrive. So I'm gonna send out after this meeting like a sign up genius for each of your offices. So click on the link for your office and then sign up for a time to sit down one-on-one with me and your manager. If you're in Turtle Creek, it'll be just me because that would be like many meetings for Jess, and she's got a lot going on. But I'm excited for those just to be able to check with you guys. And then the next thing is, you know, complete the Agent Basics curriculum over the next few months. Like I said, it's Friday mornings. It's going to be Friday mornings in this hour. And so one of the schedules, if I send you a sample week, like Monday mornings should be reserved pretty much for Monday morning meetings, right? And then if you're in Dallas, then you should tour. And, you know, every day kind of does have its own little structure. But Friday mornings are for this. And it's really important that you guys kind of attend and show up for this. These are things that you'll learn so much faster if you go through this curriculum versus learning and having a client be a guinea pig, right? So want you guys to pass through these training classes, and we're going to go over what the lists are. Agent Basics meeting attendance, that's what this is. And you'll see that those are built into our Friday morning calendar. And then we're going to try to check in with you guys once a month and just see how it's going. So maybe a couple more times before the end of the year. And then also, if you have a mentor, check in with them on a regular basis too, right? They know that we're doing this, but just make sure you guys are on the same page and you're getting what you need. If you don't have a mentor and you want one, like, let me know. If you ever want to talk about how it's going, let me know. That'll be part of the reason we're kind of meeting with you guys. So any questions about like what we're doing here and what the expectations are and like why we're doing this? Does this sound like a drag? Does this sound like a good idea?
This is good. This is really helpful for me.
Very good.
Okay, good. Thank you
Love
guys.
this. Yeah, it's great.
Awesome.
And
Yeah. I hear someone, but I can't see ya.
Oh, that was me. Yeah, it's inspiring and motivating. It's like a good fall reset.
That's right. That's the plan, is to just get you guys through this so that you can be the experts, right? It's only a matter of time. I know it. Okay, so then here I wanted to show you guys the calendar and what we're going to be covering. And I want you to actually look and see what the content is, so that if there's anything that you feel like you're missing, we can put it in there. And I mean, they don't all have to be on Friday. Like two of the listing classes will be not on Friday because we don't have enough Fridays. And also those are classes that, not all of these are just agent basics courses. This is part of our core curriculum that like even experienced agents need to pass through some of these classes. So this is where we're going to start. Any questions? No? So
there's not one on the 3rd. There was, yeah.
No, because it's the Friday before Labor Day,
Yeah,
we
okay.
figured we would skip that. We also skipped the Friday before Thanksgiving. So, but our hope is that you guys come to 100% of these, because we need you to pass through these. It's what every agent should know about financing. And these are not all like me talking the whole time, don't worry. We have subject matter experts that will come and teach. So Lisa Underwood is going to come and teach financing. Angela and I are going to do the 1 to 4 contract together. I mean, most of you guys have probably gone through that, but I think when you're filling it out as an agent, you need to know strategically, should I put 3 days in this blank or should I put 10 days in this blank? And that answer depends on who you're representing, right? So we're going to kind of walk through it and strategically answer those questions. I encourage you to come to that class with one printed out so you can take notes on it. It was like my proudest day a few years ago in Fort Worth when we offered this class, and one of the agents was writing his first offer and he like wanted to go over with me, and he brought in his little like go by that he had taken notes on. I was so happy. It's the little things, right? And then we have our listings process is broken into 3 parts. So we have listings 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to go through a mock closing. We're going to have another meeting like this. And as we go through, that'll be on October 1st. I'll have some time to plan. So if I hear back from you guys, like I'm still really struggling with my calendar or whatever it is, we can cover specific topics in there. Okay. But those are just kind of placeholder meetings for us to come together and talk. There's 2 more of those. And then, how to ace your marketing, which Maria taught that yesterday. I don't know if any of you were able to come, but we got really good feedbacks, and she teaches that one at least once a month. So that'll be happening at this time for you guys. Jeff Hill is going to teach us Sotheby's Brand Essentials. We're going to do preparing a CMA class, which is always a good one. And everyone does it a different way. There's no one way to do it. So it's always helpful just to hear how someone else does it and learn like a little trick. And then, leases as a new agent, lots of agents are doing leases. You start with a lot of leases, which is fine, because that's what gets handed to you. But the thing about leases is that in a year, they might be buyers, right? So keep in touch with them. And I think that one is already if you need that sooner than November, I think that one was recorded and placed in the Success Center when Pamela did it. So you could go and just watch that one. And then Art of the Deal, which is basically like strategies once you're kind of under contract already, and a few of the different forms going with it. And then working with buyers, just kind of a summary of what our tools are. So is there any curriculum you feel like we're missing that would be helpful? And here's the deal. These are just our Friday morning special classes for us that are part of our official curriculum. We're still going to have all the other Briggs Freeman training happening. And at some point I may do like a time blocking class, or I just got a insurance class, like what you should know about homeowners insurance class, CE approved. So that'll probably happen. So still keep your eye on the training calendar in BF Office, and also when Moji's making her announcements during the Monday morning meetings about what's coming up. But hopefully this will be helpful. So it's exactly 9:45, which is the goal, is to not take up too much of your time, but to make it really valuable. So thank you guys for coming. Does anyone want to talk? Does anyone have questions? Keep your eye out for an email from me today with the Sign Up Genius to sign up for a one-on-one. And we won't see you next Friday, but we'll see you in 2 Fridays. Does anyone have anything they want to talk about?
Are the classes going to be on Zoom only, or are we going to do them in person?
Okay, that's a great question. Because there's agents here from every office, this is always going to be on Zoom. So, and we are going to record it, That does not mean that I want you guys to get out of the habit of showing up on Friday mornings, right? Like put this as an appointment in your calendar with me or with each other, or whatever you need to do to make sure that you're showing up, and then plan around it as best you can, right? So, but yes, this will always be on Zoom because we've got such a big group from all over the place. Good question. Thank you. I should have said that. I keep forgetting to put that in my emails too.
For our, like, when we meet with you or our
Mhm.
respective manager, should we have prepared like any specific stuff to go over with you? Or just like
No,
bring questions and like think about what we want to talk about?
Yeah, it's really informal. When I send you guys the emails, I'm going to attach kind of our new agent expectations and responsibilities. And you can, if you want, you can print it out and go through and see, like, have I gone to any of these classes? And if you have, like, put the date, because the goal is that we'll kind of fill in the date along over the course of the end of this year. And by the end, you'll have like be a super genius agent because you'll have gone through all the classes, right? But we're going to try to keep track. So no, there's nothing you really need to do to prepare. Just know if there's challenges you want to talk about or things you're excited about. It's just a check-in, really. Yeah, good question. Anyone else?
You know, something I'm just going to throw out there. I am a networker by nature, and so I love these meetings. It's really great to be able to see everybody. But if anybody would ever be interested in putting together just an impromptu happy hour or something along those lines, to where I might be able to meet you face to face and just be able to talk with you a bit, I would love something like that. And I know we're kind of all over the Metroplex, but I just know that helps me to be able to have that personal connection with somebody rather than just through a Zoom call or something along those lines. It helps me to create that little bit better attachment to somebody too, and we can share best practices. So just throwing that out there. If anybody ever had any interest in along those lines, reach out to me. I'm happy to put something like that together.
I love that. That gives me an idea. And I do think we should do that. I will tell you, one of the reasons, a lot of the agents that I showed you up there that were like super successful, we would all be like huddled in one little training room at Lover's Lane. Not all of them. Some of them have started since then, but a handful of them that I'm thinking about, some of them weren't even up there. But for you guys to get together and create a little like pledge class in a group of people you can turn to and ask questions, and I know that's kind of already happening with some of you, is awesome. Would it help if I told you, like, I'm going to do this class from Turtle Creek today, and any of you guys that want to come up here, you can. I mean, Gavin's sitting here with me. Say hi, Gavin. So you can come sit up here with me, and I can do part Zoom, part in person. I think it's better, and I can say, like, I'm going to be doing it from Southlake this week, and anyone that wants to come to Southlake, great. We don't have to do it that way, but that might be a good way to do it.
I think that's excellent.
Okay, I'll tell you where I'm going to be. Next week it's Lisa, so I'll be in some office presenting it, and we can all group together, or we'll just keep doing that. That's a good idea. Thank you, Brian. Okay, anything else? All right, well, you guys have a good weekend. Thank you so much for showing up and hanging in there with me. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Zareen.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Zareen. Thank you, Zareen.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye, Gavin.
Thank you.
Hi, Gavin. I don't know how to end this thing now. Hold on. Okay, end show. I'm trying to get my Zoom control back. There we go.